1. Created value is greater than captured value. This is the value equation that drives your business model's unique value proposition, UVP. You need to create more value for your customers than you capture back. If your customers don't get back more value, even perceived, than they pay for your product or service, they will not have enough incentive to use your product and your business model will be a non-starter. It is equally important that you run tests early in the business model validation process to ensure that you can also capture back some of this value as monetizable value that can be converted into revenue. I'm a big proponent of testing this as early in the business model validation process as possible. Otherwise, you delay testing one of the riskiest assumptions in your business model, which can be a costly assumption to get wrong. Even free users in services like Facebook and Twitter aren't truly using these services for free. They pay for their usage through a derivative currency that I'll describe shortly. 2. Captured value has to be greater than or equal to the cost of value delivery. This is the monetization equation that drives sustainability and profits in your business model. You need to capture back at least as much value as it costs you to deliver this value, or your business model also falls apart. There is no business in your business model without revenue. A for-profit business model aims to maximize the difference between value captured and the cost of delivering value, while a not-for-profit business model aims to keep this difference as close to zero as possible. Created value is greater than captured value, which is greater than or equal to the cost of value delivery. While every business needs to eventually satisfy both of these equations, it doesn't need to do so from the outset. In the lean approach, we tackle them one at a time, from left to right. After all, creating value for users is a prerequisite to being able to capture value from them, and capturing value from users is a prerequisite to optimizing your cost structure. In other words, the value created for customers is an investment in your business model system that is returned when some of that value is converted into revenue. Capturing value is the common factor in both the value equation and the monetization equation, and key to the definition of traction. Traction is the rate at which a business model captures monetizable value from its users. How is traction different from revenue? While booked revenue can be manufactured in many different ways, traction is revenue that needs to be attributable to key user actions in the past. These past user actions serve as leading indicators for extrapolating future business model growth. I will show you how to deconstruct traction into a set of leading indicators later in the book, but I'll leave you with a simple example for now. Using customer behavior trends and sales data, Starbucks realized that time spent in their coffee shops correlated with more money being spent in their stores. In other words, time spent in a coffee shop was a leading indicator of traction. This was a key insight in Starbucks' differentiated positioning of creating a third space between work and home. While other coffee shops drove you out once you made a purchase, Starbucks welcomed you in, and it paid off very well for them. The customer factory metaphor. We can make this definition of traction even more tangible by visualizing the output of a working business model as a factory. In this factory metaphor, the job of the factory is to make customers. An illustration of this can be found in the bonus material included with this audiobook. It works by taking in unaware visitors as inputs on the left, creating, delivering, and capturing value from these visitors inside the black box, which we'll deconstruct later, and creating happy customers on the right. Why happy customers? Why not satisfied customers or just customers? The reason I describe the output of this customer factory as happy customers is that emotion plays a major role. As you'll see later in the book, the customer factory is not simply a mechanical process for cranking out paying customers, but rather a well-designed system for making happy customers. You might also be wondering whether the goal of every business is to create happiness. What about hospitals, insurance companies, and divorce attorneys? I don't believe every business needs to always create smiling customers, but every business does need to create customer value and leave its customers better off than when they started. In other words, to create progress in their customer's journey. So by that definition, even alleviating pain or providing security qualifies as happiness. Finally, I want to make a subtle but important distinction between making happy customers and making